Hi, my name is Nick Relampagos and this is my car. My earliest car memory was when I was 4 years old, and I grew up in the Philippines and came here when I was 5, but when I was 4 years old, my uncle had a 59 Bel Air, which was the four-door version of the Impala, but it was the cat eyes, and I was always amazed by the cat eyes. What lit my fire for cars was 1973 when my dad bought his 73 Chevy Nova, and I went to the dealership with him. We got the car, and as soon as we got the front and rear license plates, I was the one that put them on, and that was it. The reason I chose the 70 Camaro was because I had a 71 Z28, and it was original Z28, and I had 3 kids, and that center rear hump wasn't going to cut it with the 3 kids, so I ended up selling it to get a 70 Chevelle, which I restored, but I still had the want to get the 70 Camaro to Pro Tour. As I had the Chevelle, I ended up building this car as well, so this is what you see. The reason why I chose Speedtech for my suspension was because they came out with a really great product. They had the Speedtech Extreme subframe, which had a lot of suspension geometry changes, as well as it was built really well. The welds are immaculate on them, and the quality is top-notch. Along with the torque arm suspension is probably one of the best suspensions out there right now for pro touring cars. It provides a lot of suspension, travel, and movement. So you get a really good responsive suspension. So the motor is a 6.2 liter LSA, which is the supercharged version of the LS3. The motor has forged pistons, forged rods from Lingenfelter, factory forged crank, synergy cam, and as well as a valve train, AFR heads, and they're the mongoose heads, so rectangular port. It worked really great. The supercharger is just a rebuilt supercharger. After 3 years, I ended up rebuilding it. It's got ultimate headers. The clutch is the center force diad clutch, which is a dual disc clutch. Transmission is a Tremec T-56 Magnum, and the rear end is a Ford 9-inch full floater. The suspension I have is the Speedtech Extreme subframe in the front. Provides the opportunity to run 315 tires up front. On this car, I have run 335s as long as you have the clearance on the inner fender. On the rear, it's the torque arm rear suspension, which with the 4.9-inch, it's a full floater, so that's a really great system. The brakes I have are C6 Z06 brakes. Brake pads and rotors are power stop, track day, and they're good for all around track day and autocross use. The most fun I had out here at LS Fest East is just competing with all the guys, all my friends that I see on social media. These are the guys that I rarely get to compete against. You know, other than maybe Optima Ultimate Street Car, we do some of the same events. But it's really tough to compete against these guys. My future plans for the car, they're kind of being reenacted right now. I just recently got the car painted, so I don't have to worry about the paint job. The suspension's been refreshed with new components, new steering and control arm and ball joints. So right now it's probably at the tail end of its refresh, so I'm going to continue to race it just the way it is. When I did first build him, that's a blooper.